So circles are the next section. Here's the standard form of a circle. So x subtract h squared plus y subtract k all squared equals r squared, where h and k would be the center of the circle and r is the radius. It's pretty straightforward. The theorem x squared plus y squared equals r squared, which is very similar, if it's the same as Pythagorean theorem, where r is the radius, and the center of this one, where the center up here was hk because we subtracted them from x and y, this one's center would be the origin 0, 0. And then you're going to need the general form for some of these problems. I wrote all real numbers on here a second ago, just they are real numbers. I think that's it for this part, so we're just going to hop straight in. Oh, I wrote it on this one. We're going to get rid of it. Well, I guess I can talk about it. So we have x squared plus y squared equals 4. So whenever it's just x squared and y squared, we just set it. The center is 0, 0. And then we'd look at the end of it, and since it's 4, we'd take the square root of 4, which would give us this 2. So if we had, there was one that was x squared plus y squared equals 49. So still the theorem, the center is still the origin 0, 0. And the radius would be 7. On this one, I've worked this one out too for some reason. They have a problem where they use 4s, and I've seen it with 3s as well. And what we're doing on these two is what can you factor out of both of them. So on this one, I could factor out a 4, and I didn't put my 4 anywhere, and actually this one's wrong. Right here, when I factored out the 4, I divided this by 4, and this should have been divided by 4 as well. So then my center would be 2 and 0 because it was subtract 2, and that was, and then the radius 1, so the square root of 1 would have been 1. Over here, we're going to factor out a 3, so I'd be left with x subtract 2 squared plus y squared, and then 12 divided by 3, because you can't forget the end of it like I'd done previously here, would be 4. So then my center, since in the formula it has x subtract h, y subtract k, since it's subtract, that follows the formula, so it's going to be positive 2, and then y doesn't have anything, so it'd be 0, and that's our center. And then our radius is the square root of 4, so it would be 2. Now this one down here, on this one you have to complete the square, which is something we didn't talk too much about before, so we're going to talk about it now. When we're completing the square, they gave us our formula in general form. We're going to get our x's together, we're going to get our y's together, and we're going to bring this 4 to the other side. So I'm going to have, and I'm going to leave a space here because I have to leave me room to complete the square. So x squared subtract 3x plus blank, because we're going to put something there. Then my y's, plus y squared plus 4y plus equals, and then I have negative 4 over here now. And then whatever I'm adding here, I'm going to have to add here and here. So when we're completing this square, we're trying to find the finishing part to this so that when I distribute or FOIL the inequality that makes it the standard form, this, it will multiply to give me what's going to be here. So how we do that is, this is negative 3 here, so I have negative 3. I divide it by 2 and square it. So negative 3 squared would be positive 9, and 2 squared would be 4. And since I added it here, I have to add it here. Now this one, I'd have 4 divided by 2, which is 2, and I'd square that 2, so 2 squared would give us 4 here, and whatever we add there, we have to add here. Now then, when we go to write these in the 2 binomials, we're going to have x, and then whatever is here that I squared, subtract 3 halves squared, plus y, whatever was squared, positive 2 squared equals, and then I'd combine these. This negative 4 and positive 4 are going to cancel out. I'd be left with 9/4. So now then, that is in the standard form of an equation. So my center would be 3 halves, and then this is a positive 2, so this is going to be our negative 2 here because it's opposite world in this. And our radius is the square root of 9/4, so the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of 4 is 2. I'm going to stop on this video.